Welcome to the ChatGPT podcast. I'm your host, Jaden Schaefer. Each episode, we dive into the latest developments in the exciting field of artificial intelligence, exploring its applications and potential impacts on our daily lives. Have you ever wanted to start your own podcast? I record and publish podcasts on a platform called Spotify for Podcasters, and I absolutely love it. Essentially, you can upload from your phone or computer, and it distributes to every platform that plays podcasts. They support video podcasts, and you can make money on the platform with ads or even podcast subscriptions, something that has made my life so much easier as a podcaster. So if you're interested, I highly recommend you give it a try. You can download the Spotify for Podcast app, or go to spotify.com/podcasters to get started on your podcast today. Today, I want to talk about what ChatGPT could mean for the future. We want to dive a little bit into the future, look at some of the implications of this technology on the way work and other areas are going to change. So without further ado, let's dive into it. We all know what ChatGPT is. It's a natural language processor, very advanced. And I guess when we're looking at how exactly this is going to affect the future, I think it's important to look at how it works. Something that's really important to know is that ChatGPT is so advanced, it's been trained on over 45 terabytes of text data. So that's about equivalent to 3 million books. So this thing is very robust. It's based on a deep learning architecture called a transformer. So a transformer is essentially just a type of neural network that is specifically designed to process sequential data, such as text. So looking at things in a sequential order. The transformer architecture is based on the concept of attention, which is a mechanism that allows the model to selectively focus on certain parts of the input sequence when processing it. So, sounds technical, but what that means is pretty much when you ask ChatGPT a question like, write me an essay about Arnold Schwarzenegger in 2010, it's able to look at specific areas of your question and determine which of those are most important. So subject matter, Arnold Schwarzenegger, year 2010, essay, task that you're looking to get done, right? So it's able to kind of break it down into like a systematic way that a computer program could understand. And that's something that wasn't previously available or previously possible with other AI models. So the training process for ChatGPT is divided into a couple stages. First, pre-training and fine-tuning. So during the pre-training stage, the model is trained on a really large data set like Wikipedia or Common Crawl data set, which essentially just means websites that have opted that for companies like Google or ChatGPT, OpenAI to be able to crawl all of their data. And so this pre-training process is what gives ChatGPT its deep understanding of language and its ability to generate coherent responses, right? Because it's reading all these articles from websites. It used to train off a lot of content that was on Twitter and other places. So that's kind of where it understands language because it's been trained off of all that. So in the fine-tuning stage, the model is trained on a smaller data set. So that's specific to the task it's going to be performing. So for example, if ChatGPT is being trained to be a consumer service chatbot, it's going to be fine-tuned on a data set of consumer service conversations. So this fine-tuning process is what allows ChatGPT to adapt to specific use cases and become more accurate and effective. And so they've been able to fine-tune this in a lot of different areas, right? They've been able to help it write articles. They've been able to help it be a chatbot. They've been able to use this thing for writing product descriptions, and they've fine-tuned the chatbot, the ChatGPT, off of a whole bunch of data sets of those specific things. So what does this mean for the future? So ChatGPT, it represents a really significant advancement in conversational AI technology. I think everyone's aware of that, right? The first time you use it, this thing is incredible. It really, you can see just all the ways that this is going to change everything. And so its potential impact on the future is really, really massive. And here's some ways that I think that ChatGPT is going to shape the future of conversational AI. Number one, I think it's going to result in improved customer service. So one of the most immediately practical applications of ChatGPT, one of the things that first got launched into, and actually not just ChatGPT, but previously before that, OpenAI had what was called the Da Vinci model, and they had a couple other models of, essentially something that could talk and respond to questions. And people are using those for customer service chatbots. So they've become really common in the field, and it's for a pretty good reason, because essentially they can save companies a lot of time and money by handling really simple inquiries and directing customers to the right resources. So for example, if a company finds they get a ton of people messaging their customer service representatives asking about specific features or specific products, essentially they can write a series of prompts, just like when you create prompts for ChatGPT, where ChatGPT might be installed on a website with a specific prompt that says, what product are you wanting help with today? And someone says, what product, and then ChatGPT gets that, and it, let's say you are talking about a specific model of TV, it sends you over to the chatbot built for that specific model of TV, and it might say, what problem are you having with this model of TV? And they say, the power won't turn on. And so then it has all of the problems segmented out that are common, like every website has frequently asked questions, whatever, same thing. So then it will send you over to the chatbot specifically to help people address that problem, which will run through the prompt they've created for that chatbot that they're sending you to based on ChatGPT. It's like a prompt that says, when someone has a problem with the power, suggest these 5 different things, walk them through these different steps they can take to try to fix their problem or solve the problem. Anyways, it can get pretty elaborate, right? Because you could have tons of different products, tons of different problems, but you can program these things to be really good at responding in a very natural way. And so while, it might be complex to get something like this set up, this is saving thousands of hours of actual humans having to go and just respond to the same, frequently asked questions, the same frequent problems that people have. So that's the first way I see it making a really big impact. The second is virtual personal assistants. So ChatGPT is going to have a really big impact in the development of virtual personal assistants. So existing virtual assistants like Siri and Alexa are useful for, for handling basic tasks, pretty much like setting reminders or playing music, but they really lack the ability to hold extended conversations or provide pretty much in-depth assistance. So GPT has the potential to change that with its advanced language processing that we've all seen and tried. It can act as a really powerful virtual assistant, and I've actually seen people set this up before. There's different apps you can use that can connect to ChatGPT, and on your phone, if you have an iPhone, you could actually select different keywords to say that will trigger Siri to query its answers instead of from the internet or something from ChatGPT. So there's some really cool things that people are starting to do. I see this trend improving in the future, and I see this being a very powerful virtual assistant that can answer and help you in virtually every area that ChatGPT could. And it's all audio, it's all on your phone. And so it's really quick and it's really going to help people to be more effective and productive. So one other area I see this is the field of translation. So I have personally had a pretty interesting experience. I own the app Self-Pause. It's a positive affirmation meditation app. And we recently introduced a AI life coach into the app. And what's really crazy is, it took a week or two working on making different prompts and the technology, working with our developers to get this AI life coach feature integrated into it. And then I was thinking man, this would be so cool if we could have this for other languages because, it was in English, but we do have a lot of users in other languages. And I was like, man, it'd be super cool if this could be in other languages. And so I went to essentially, we have a series of different prompts that we have integrated with OpenAI's kind of like ChatGPT, but a different thing they have called DaVinci. And so we have a series of prompts we've integrated to create this AI life coach, and it's super long. Each of these prompts is a page long because it's pretty much telling ChatGPT how to be a life coach, what to say, how to walk people through this conversation. And we wanted to translate in different languages, so we literally just added the line of text, respond to users in whatever language they message you. And this is a little Easter egg. If you ever have our app, you might be talking to it in English, and all of a sudden you can say something in French, and it will respond instantly in a perfect response, the same flow that the AI life coach is being taught to do, but all of a sudden just switches languages to whatever language you're messaging in it. So really, really cool. I was absolutely blown away, right? Because normally when you do developmental projects, we got our whole app translated, Self-Pause, that same app, we got it translated into 4 new languages, and that took 2 or 3 months to get all the areas of that translated. But this AI life coach feature, which is, pretty advanced AI, one line of text, we literally got the whole thing translated into every language in the world in like 10 minutes. So very, very powerful. And I see this being something that can help people because it really understands the meaning of a lot of these words. And so the translations can come across really well. Another area which I touched on a minute ago is just improved mental health services. So like I said, I have the AI Life Coach app, Self-Pause. And I think that these chatbots that we've integrated, and we have a whole bunch of new ones that we're integrating in. So ones to help you set goals, ones to help you overcome addictions, ones to help you find areas you're struggling with and find solutions for them. And I think that in addition to that, just, finding a place that people can go and get like some sort of empathetic response. They know they're talking to an AI, but sometimes you don't really want to tell your problems to an actual person. And so this, I honestly think, is going to be a really big area. I know for me personally, everyone's different, right? But I know for me personally, being able to tell my problems to an AI actually has more of an appeal than telling them to an actual person. And I guess people that have privacy issues or other things, this could be a really big area, I think, is mental health support. So the one thing that we do need to consider is the ethical concerns. So as with any new technology, there's also ethical concerns that need to be considered when it comes to ChatGPT. One of those concerns is that the model could be used to create fake news or manipulate public opinion, obviously. People can use this for a lot of negative things. I've heard of people saying that hackers use this to generate like really realistic emails to people that are like tricking them into giving them their passwords or their credit cards or, all the different spam that we see. And of course, that's nothing that like wouldn't be done without ChatGPT, but maybe it could make it faster and better. So maybe they'll need to focus on putting safeguards in place for that specifically. And to be honest, it kind of makes sense. And I'm sure that they're going to tackle this problem, and we hope, that they'll be able to find solutions for it. So wrapping up the podcast today, in conclusion, I would say ChatGPT is incredibly powerful, some massive steps forward as far as technology goes with this, and with its deep understanding of language and the ability to generate natural sounding responses, ChatGPT has the potential to revolutionize the way we interact with technology, like period. Like this is massive. I think this is equivalent of the internet being created today. I think it can be used to improve customer service, mental health, support, assist in language learning and translations, act as a more human-like virtual assistant. It's important to think of the ethical implications of this technology and to ensure that we're using it in a responsible way. And as AI technologies continues to advance, I think it's going to be important to remain really vigilant and ensure that this is being used in ways that benefit society as a whole. You've been listening to the ChatGPT podcast. Make sure to rate us wherever you listen to your podcasts and have a fantastic week.